Frenchies, Indians. Take cover, they're on it! Take cover! Take cover, they're on it!
Tirez!
Take cover! Take
No more standing up looking around. You get your head blown off, sir.
Hold steady, men. Steady. Drive them back!
How can we, sir? There's too many of them.
I don't believe that, Caleb. You bet, sir. Because they're not going to stop. They want to end this right now, before sundown, before the spirits come out of the graves.
Stand fast, soldiers! Stand fast!
Situation is hopeless. I suggest you ask for terms.
Surrender?
That is for you to decide, sir. It's your command. Soldier, get down!
Sir, they might want to offer us surrender terms. Shall I go out under a white flag and talk to them, Colonel?
Colonel! Colonel! Yes. Talk to them, Mr. Von Braun.
They're accusing you of actually assassinating Jumonville, and in signing the surrender, you agreed with them.
The terms of the surrender are generous, Governor. The French protected us from the Indians. And we gave up the fort with full military honors.
Didn't you understand the damn preamble? Obviously, you and Captain Mackay signed without reading it.
Von Braun had to translate, sir. We did insist on certain changes. 100 of my men were either dead or wounded. One word from the French commander and the Indians would have fallen on us. I had to decide.
Colonel, the French have tricked you into signing a confession of murder, which means that you alone, Colonel Washington, have given them the legal right to break the peace and declare war on us.
My conscience is clear, sir, in dealing with you and on the field of battle.
You're quite sure of that?
You weren't there, Governor. How can you know what it was like?
Your insolence, sir, I will not stand for it.
And I will not stand for being treated as an incompetent provincial.
Don't raise your voice to me, young man.
I did what I thought had to be done. No man can do more.
Mr. Washington, I am reorganizing our military forces. There will no longer be a single regiment, but 10 independent companies. You can have one of them if you so choose, with a demotion of rank from colonel to captain. You, sir, have helped the French tie a string of firecrackers to the tail of the British Lion, which will stir a commotion in the Houses of Parliament and Versailles for many years to come. Good day to you, sir.
But Dinwiddie is not the last word, George. We Fairfaxes are not without influence in the Tidewater, you know.
No, Will, if the governor thinks that he can protect the frontier with empty resolutions and broken promises, let him try. No words can describe the feelings, Will. What it's like to lead men against an overwhelming enemy. To see them slaughtered before your very eyes. All my life, I'd heard of the thrill of battle, the glory. And when I first heard the bullets whistle, I thought there was something charming in the sound. But in the end, it's nothing but blood. Wounded crying out. I'm done with it, Will. It's over.
Good day, Mr. Fairfax.
How good of you to call, my boy. I've missed our little talks while you've been off fighting the French and their savages.
As well, I've missed our little talks, too, sir.
Oh, well, what are your plans now that you've put the army behind you?
Well, I'm afraid the Army has put me behind it. I've been attending my mother's affairs.
She's well, I trust?
Well, as well as mother ever can be. It's clear to me now that she'll not hand over my inherited property as long as she lives, so I must find a place of my own.
Oh, yes, quite. Well, if there's anything I can do to help.
Yes, sir, there is. As your daughter has remarried and moved into her new husband's plantation, I would like to lease Mount Vernon from Anne, if you approve. Property is all anyone can be certain of, sir. The rest is wind in the trees.
Well put, young man. And I certainly can understand your hunger for land, hunger that I had when I was your age. But does this talk of Mount Vernon mean that you've given up your dream of serving in His Majesty's regular forces?
Yes, well, my military career is over. I'm a farmer now, and glad to be.
You're quite certain of that?
Never more so.
Then the house is yours, George. And what comes with it? In exchange for 15,000 pounds of tobacco to be paid to Anne each year? Agreed?
It's agreed, sir.
And if the good lords see fit to take Anne first, then you shall have clear title.
Thank you, sir.
It's what your dear brother wanted. Come.
There he is, my inconstant friend. And what do you have to say for yourself?
Sally, I'm sorry.
Here alone for almost a week, and you've made no effort to call at Belvoir. Why, sir, have you been avoiding us? I demand an answer on pain of instant embarrassment.
Well, I didn't want you to see the house till I'd finished my plan. But I should have known that you'd wait for no man. So enter, madame, if you insist.
Oh, I do. Oh, dear, poor George, living all by yourself. No furniture, all this emptiness. How can you stand it? I have to have beautiful things to surround me.
Well, there's so much to do, and it takes so long when you don't know that much about architecture. I have the help of this English builder's manual, and I've developed a good eye. Oh, that sounds immodest, doesn't it?
Terribly. Lead on, sir. If you can't give me a tour of what is, then you must show me what will be. Your brother Lawrence would have loved your plans for the garden.
I don't want to see it as formal as before.
You must keep the roses. And George, you must plant everlastings. You know, those November flowers that they can be dried after the frost and brighten our world until spring.
What a lovely thought.
You've just designed your dream house and garden. What about a dream lady? What would you like her to be? A wisp of a thing, soft and fair? Perhaps tall and dark-haired, like your Sally.
Oh, no. No, not like you. You're one of a kind, and I'd never find another.
Dear George.
George! George! Will! Welcome home!
My dear.
George.
My friend. I can't tell you how delighted I am that you'll no longer have to travel half the day to reach our door.
You'll dine with us tonight?
Oh, no, really. Of course you will. We have much to talk of. Every tongue in Williamsburg is wagging about the arrival of a Major General Edward Braddock with 2 regiments of British regulars.
Braddock?
He sailed into Hampton Roads last week. Oh, what a sight. Forest of sails. Boatload after boatload of real British regulars. Superbly trained and disciplined. They're amazing. They march as one man.
March where?
The general has orders from the king to take Fort Duquesne.
By God, it's about time. That fort controls the frontier.
And once taken, we can drive the French right back to Canada.
Now, why so interested, George? I thought you'd turned your back on a military career.
I want you with me, since you've already tangled with the French in the wilderness. So I value your experience and advice.
Governor Dinwiddie and I...
Yes, I know all about that. But you wouldn't be someone that I would want in my military family if you hadn't also tangled with the governor. We soldiers must stick together, eh?
Yes, sir, but...
Even the governor admitted that you're someone who will fight and not just diddle away your time cooped up in some frontier fort.
But there is the matter of rank, sir.
Rank, yes. I shall make you a civilian aide without rank, Colonel. You'll get your orders directly from me, and that way no one in the regulars will outrank you. How does that strike you, sir? Are you with us?
I would be honored to serve in your family, General Braddock.
Good. Good.
And the last field must be seated by the end of the month. If the French cooperate by turning tail and leaving the Ohio to us, I should return well before first harvest.
If there is a harvest. George, this drought.
Little brother, don't even say it. We must produce 15,000 pounds of tobacco or lose my lease on Mount Vernon.
I'm Mrs. Washington.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
I certainly don't have to be announced to my own son. There you are. Just like your brother, running after Mount Vernon at every opportunity.
Mother, Jack...
And you, enticing him to take care of your property while mine lies parched in the hellish sun.
But I needed Jack to finish the planting and to look after the house.
Cows so dry we must squeeze them like bagpipes for a pitcher of milk. And all you can do is steal away my John Augustine and hitch him to your plow.
George can teach me agriculture.
How? When he's hundreds of miles away in some godforsaken wilderness. And who knows if you'll ever come back, except in a box that we must put in the ground.
Mama, that's a terrible thing to say.
Well, it's true. George, how ungrateful you are for all the sacrifices that I've made for you when your father died.
I know I am grateful. You're welcome to stay at Mount Vernon while I'm away.
If you insist.
I do.
Well,
I'll lose the light if I don't leave now. Goodbye, Mama. And I hope you don't mind that I told John Augustine to call on you with any problem that he might have.
My boy, I'd feel hurt if you hadn't. We're really family, you know?
Yes, well, thank you. I must be on my way. Goodbye.
Godspeed.
Doesn't look well. Take good care of him, Will. And say goodbye to Sally for me.
Yes, I don't know why she suddenly went running upstairs. If you could wait but a moment.
No, I can't. I must go.
We both hate to see you leave.
Yes, well. Thank you for all that you've been to me.
George William.
And you to me. To all of us. Godspeed.
Yes.
go without saying goodbye? Somehow I knew and couldn't bear to be there when you told the others. I heard everything from the top of the stairs. Why, George?
My heart is not in agriculture. I realize that now. The bearing of arms can be my only life. Great events are afoot. I mean to be a witness.
You prepared that little speech, didn't you? You haven't really answered why.
You know why.
I don't. You're being rude when you say that I do.
I enjoy your company too much. It's wrong.
It's not wrong. We're friends, nothing more.
I can't stay here any longer.
George. My father gave it to me. Now I give it to you.
I can't take it.
It will bring you good fortune, I know it will. Please keep it. Do that much for your dear friend.
Gun howitzers, 6 ships cannon, 14 6-pounders. To move all of this, sir, we've been promised by the colonial governors 200 wagons and 2,500 horses.
Has anyone a comment on our proposed tactics? Colonel Washington.
You're top-heavy in ordnance, sir. Transferring such heavy loads over 300 rugged miles across rivers and mountains could prove to be more difficult than any of us could imagine.
We thrive on difficulties, don't we, gentlemen?
Certainly do, sir. Yes, sir, I'm sure you do. But to achieve victory here, you may have to alter your tactics.
And what, pray, must we do, Colonel?
Well, sir, you and your officers are new to this country. Your success has been won on European battlefields in the time-honored way. A frontal assault on an enemy army in an open field, siege of a French fort. But, sir, in this campaign, you'll be fighting Canadian French, not Continental.
What says the difference?
The Canadians, General Braddock, not only use Indians to fight, but they've also learned Indian battle tactics.
Such as?
Harassment by small raiding parties. Forest skirmishes by men disguised as to be almost invisible. They strike and then they run.
Invisible men who strike and run. Oh, really, sir?
British field tactics and firepower will chase your invisible men into eternity.
Precision and discipline, young man. That's how wars are won.
This could be a war like no other in history, sir. The Indians can be a fearful presence, since they engage in such barbarities as lifting scalps.
Wild talk is dangerous, sir. You will build these savages into so great a bogeyman that the common soldier will quicken his boots to face them.
Yeah.
We're grateful to our Virginian friend for his opinions, whether or not they prove instructive. You have your orders, gentlemen. Maybe some down here. Look at this. Crawling with maggots. Not fit for a hog. We've received not a fraction of the supplies, nor half the wagons promised us by those damnable Virginians. I'd like to strangle that pack of scoundrels. Now sending us rotten beef. Colonel Washington! Will you kindly explain to me?
2 of your axemen, sir, slain by Indians.
What the devil are those sacks?
General, you don't want to see. They've been scalped.
Then why the bloody hell did you bring them here as if I hadn't seen enough horror for one day?
But your orders were to...
Blast my orders! You provincials either totally neglect to obey my orders or you obey them when I don't want them obeyed. Take them into the woods and bury them before my men start seeing hobgoblins behind every bush.
Yes, sir.
And Colonel Washington, report to me before officers' mess. I want to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Oh, sir, I'm sorry to invade your privacy. The sentry said...
Don't let this barren field embarrass you, Colonel. It'll soon be overgrown again. I wasn't angry at you today, Colonel, but at your Virginia politicians whose promises, I admit you warned me, might prove as elusive as your bloody French savages. Damn them all. British soldiers ambushed and scalped. British horses stolen. Promises broken. And so I turned to my Seneca. And as always, find comfort. Fire is the test of gold, adversity of strong men. Ever since we left Fort Cumberland, this army has moved like tar in December. At the rate we push our road every day, we shan't reach Fort Duquesne before our bones be bleached by your damnable Virginia sun.
Yes, sir.
Is that all you have to say? Yes, sir? Speak your mind.
I'd divide my army, sir.
Divide an army.
The French know where we are. We're being watched every mile by their Indians. I'd leave the bulk of my supplies, wagons, horses, artillery behind to protect the road, while a smaller unit of chosen men moves ahead to surprise the enemy.
Or be attacked itself. Dangerous policy, Colonel. But we shall see. All right, let's have a look at it. When this campaign is over and we've driven the French back to Canada, I propose to find a place for you in His Majesty's service which is agreeable to your wishes.
Thank you, sir.
And there's something I'd like you to do now. I want you to ride post-haste to the governor's palace and bring back 4,000 pounds sterling for our paymaster.
Yes, sir.
Divide the army, eh? Huh.
Washington, sir.
Is the master in bed?
No, sir. Master Will went to Williamsburg to take his father to the doctor.
Benjamin, who is it?
It's Colonel Washington, ma'am.
Oh, there's no need to come down, Mrs. Fairfax. I'm on a mission for General Braddock, but my horse could go no further.
Benjamin, look at him. Chilled to the bone.
Well, I rode to Belvoir hoping to borrow a mount from his stable. I had no idea he'd been taken to a doctor.
Which is exactly where you'll end up if you don't get out of those wet clothes. You're shaking.
Oh, no, I'm late already. I can't stay.
Yes, you can, Benjamin.
No, I have no time. I'll ride to Alexandria. There's a public stable there.
No, you'll do no such thing.
Sally, I can't stay.
Dear, the voice of command. It's the first time I've heard it. You shall have Duke, our sturdiest horse. Benjamin, get me a cloak, please. John, would you please saddle Duke?
Yes, ma'am.
He hasn't been ridden since I took him out on the weekend, so he should be well rested. which is what you should be before you ride on. If you rest most of the day, the storm will be over by the time you wake. I'm sure the General wouldn't mind.
He expects me as soon as possible. If you knew generals, you'd know I have no choice but to ride now.
You must inform us of your safe arrival at camp.
Yes.
If you wish, you can write to me. Not directly, of course, but through my sister in Alexandria.
Sally.
A certain distance must be maintained between a married woman and a gentleman who is, after all, only a dear friend.
Would you like for me to bring it out, Colonel?
No, thank you. Thank you, John. I'll take him out myself. I tried not to come back.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
You're cold. You'll catch a chill.
I have a fire to warm me. You have nothing.
I'm grateful for the horse. I'll send him back as soon as I can.
Keep him, please, until you return from the campaign.
I began to fear the savages had removed your topknot.
The rains washed out the bridges. I got back as soon as I could.
Payday may be just what the men need to lift their spirits. Are you ill?
A touch of the fever, sir.
Banging headaches, agony in the belly, that sort of thing?
Yes, sir.
Then you've earned a rest. You'll use my bed.
General,
Rest and a nip of herb tea, the only cure.
The express rider just brought this, sir.
Thank you. Captain. See that the paymaster gets these. Off with those damn clothes.
I can rest in a wagon on the march, sir.
And have your bones rattled like dice?
But you need your bed, sir.
Colonel, you're under orders. Sergeant, this tent and this bed are not to be moved until this young man is up and about. I'll sleep in the auxiliary tent at the next encampment.
I see that you've tracked down my friend Caleb Quinn. With his help, you'll be able to reach Fort Duquesne in not much more than a week. I must be with you when you meet the French, sir. Let me go with you now.
You can hardly stand. Sergeant, help him off with his clothes. Now, if you do what you're told now, I promise that you'll be brought to the front in a litter, if necessary. You'll have your revenge.
Hey, hold up there, Colonel. Hold up. Orders are you not to move.